Hello and welcome. The last week has been very eventful, and quite a number of things have occurred. But before we go ahead with this video, I'd like to say thank you for the numerous calls that I've received, and particularly to Christian Nwosu. I saw your video yesterday. Christian Nwosu of the BNC, Biafran National Council. I'd like to say thank you for everybody who called and trying to mediate. I also want to thank Mr. Simon Ekpa. I just came back from the hospital owing to the fact that I had a very rising blood pressure, and I've been advised to take it softly and have enough rest. Try to stop myself from having reason to be agitated. But while in the hospital, I had a great reminiscence, and I felt that there's a lot of problem in the southern region. But before then, I like to say the video I made out of anger that has gone round and become a subject of discussion, a subject of worry. I like to say I'm very sorry for anybody who that video may have upsetted and may have made to become very angry. Because I've discovered that there is too much anger in the region. And recently I've also discovered that there's too much hate. There's too much hate and some sort of connivances and hidden agenda as well. So I think there's a great need to find a quick solution, a solution that brings harmony, a solution that brings peace, a solution that brings coherence amongst everybody. Like I said in previous videos, the reason why we have different ethnicities in the region is not for us to be different, but for us to find a good mixture that will bring a great taste in our unity in the region. Be that as it may, again, I'd like to say I'm very sorry, really very sorry. If you notice, it is not me. It is not me. I just got to the point where I said, well, if everything goes scatter, make we just scatter. Well, like I said, when I was in the hospital, I had a great thought. And listening to Nwosu yesterday, I appreciate the train of thought and the maturity with the presentation. Even though I still went, Mr. Henry was Engineer Henry was strictly campaigning that the insults and abuses on social media should stop. If really we must find a solution to where we are going, first thing must be first. We must stop the insults and solutions and abuses. And even he was pleading for the insult to stop. I still went under the comments. I still see the same insults and abuses. So my appeal and my pleading is, if there is any activist that has followers, mentoring is very vital, because when people follow you, they try to emulate you. So the insults and abuse, I'm pleading, I am begging. You cannot insult people into submission. You can't abuse people into following your way. You cannot insist that your ways, your ideals must be followed. I can even assure you that under this comment section now. Hope, I don't know, because somebody else is holding the camera. I think the abuses are already on. So those who are, I'm talking to all activists, and I'm not particular about any activist. But excuse me. But if you know you are an activist and you have certain followers that are abusing, and you are silent about it, that is very, very bad. If you are my follower and you claim you truly like me, please do not imbibe the culture of insults and abuses. Please. We know that social media has become very cheap. With 100 naira, you can access the internet and type a few comments. But we must desist from the culture of abusing and insults. But I know that in my own culture, respect is a very, very fundamental virtue, which we do not joke about. No little child will come to the internet and insult me if he knows I'm his elder. It's not possible. That I know, and that is a very good thing. And I also enjoin other cultures to emulate the virtue of respect. Nobody must agree, or nobody must come and say exactly what you want. Everybody has a style of approach. And talking of approach, this is what I've been doing for the 5 years that I've been preaching. I've been preaching for my listeners to have strategy and sense. Understand the approach of the enemy. And when you understand the style and the tactics of the enemy, my approach is that let us, equally bring a strategy that is superior to the strategy of the enemy, since we now know how they operate. There's a good reason why every activist is positioned where they are. And there's a good reason why every activist is bringing his own. To me, I believe every activist is important. Nnamdi Kanu is important. Tony Nnadi is important. Asai Dokubo is important. Pedro is important. Magnus is important. Everybody has different approach so that we have all corners covered. There's a reason why I'm staying in the north. In case you don't know, watch out. I'm the only activist or the only mentor that is staying in the north. And I believe there's a good reason. So that my purpose is to bring the northern approach, the northern strategy to the struggle. Every other activist has his own contribution. I may not know, but I can tell for myself. Mine is to distribute and disseminate the way the northerners think when they invade or when they approach us. Because most times when I listen to people, they get their strategies wrong. But there's something that I want to say right here and right now. 2 times I have made the analogy of the buffalo. So let me use this opportunity, perhaps the last time, to make the analogy of the buffalo. In my previous videos, I said, do you know it takes 5 lions to bring 1 buffalo down? 5 lions to bring 1 buffalo down. And in a pride of lion, you have 5 or 3 or 4 or 6 or 7. But basically, it takes 5 lions to bring 1 buffalo down. And in a pride of lion, for example, you have 5. Do you know in a herd of buffaloes, you have about 50, a minimum of 50 buffalo in a herd. So if we have 50 buffaloes here and 5 lions here, by that distribution, it clearly shows that the lion is no match to the buffalo, to the pride. The pride of the lion is no match to the herd of the buffalo. But why is it that the lions will constantly harass the buffalo and pick their meal and eat? Whether it is python dance or crocodile tears or whatever, the lion will always go. I will tell you why. Because ordinarily, if there must be equality of balance of strength, it should take 250 lions to bring down a herd of 50 buffaloes. But the buffalo has one disadvantage. It doesn't know its strength, or perhaps doesn't know how to apply its strength, which is the same thing that we have in the South. The South does not know how to apply its strength. And the lion has one thing, the lion being the Fulani in this case. The lion understands one thing, that the buffalo is constantly embracing fear immediately it sees the lion. So because the lion understands that the buffalo will always be afraid, it gives it the courage to attack. All the lion needs to do is to inflict the head of the buffalo with fear and then pursue the buffalo, because the only thing the buffalo knows how to do is to run, because they are infected with fear. And once they are scattered and they are running, all the lion needs to do is to concentrate on one weak victim or displaced victim and attack. And when they bring the buffalo down, the rest of the 49 buffalo will stand and watch, because in their mind, the ordeal is over. So, can I start? Please do not call this line, as I'm currently online. I'm making a live video. Do not call this number, please. Now, where was I? Say, speak now. Okay, now, the only strength that the lion has is because it knows its strength, and its strength is that he knows he understands the buffalo, and that the buffalo will always be afraid of it when it comes close to them. Now, what is making the buffalo disoriented? It's because of lack of knowledge. Now, imagine when the lions are available, all the buffalo needs to do is to stampede. What do I mean? Stampede. To stampede means to run together in cohesion towards the lion. And one thing the lion is afraid of in the jungle is to be injured, because an injured lion will starve, because it will not have the strength to pursue its prey. So all the buffalo needs to do is to combine their strength, which is far more advantageous in their favor than that of the lion. But all they need to do is to run towards the lion without fear and stampede the lion. Any attempt for each individual buffalo to attack the lions will fail. So now let us bring this analogy to the South. We have the buffalo mentality in the South, and that is what is killing us. And so long as we keep nourishing and advancing the buffalo mentality in the South, we will not go anywhere. We will not go anywhere. We must take the example of the buffalo of not realizing its advantage, because we know it takes 5 lions to bring one buffalo down, and a herd of buffalo is at least 50, and the population of the lion is small compared to the population of the buffalo. All the strength, the advantage, the strategic play of the buffalo is to stampede. And stampede, one buffalo cannot stampede. A stampede is implemented or activated by a group of individual units coming together and running over a smaller unit. Because I fail to see a South that has the strength of wealth, that has the strength of education, that has the strength of exposure, that has the strength of virtually everything, but yet a group of Fulanis, 5 lions, will come and attack a herd of buffalo. And all we do is, when they come to us, is fear. We must stop. We must work on the infection of fear. I saw the local government chairman of Oshimili local government, who gave the settlers in the bush 7 days to quit the area. That is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. That is what I am talking about. But still, it is still individualized. I wish that local government will disseminate the information to other local governments so that every local government in the region should begin to give ultimatum for people to leave places that they are not legally given. The other people are protesting and saying that they are Nigerian federal government. Federal government does not own the land in Oshimili local government. And as a matter of fact, the federal government does not own the land in Delta State. You cannot go to my place and claim a land and say federal government. To hell and fuck you with the federal government mentality. Sorry for being profane. I'm angry here. We are Southerners. When we come to the north, we do not just go to a place and claim a land and say we want to stay there. What we do is we buy the land, and even with your money, we still consult community head and say we want to buy this place. And we pay something to that community head before we claim the land. We buy the land, we stay in the north. So do not give the argument that there are Southerners in the north and therefore Northerners must be in the north. We don't have argument with that. Nigeria is a country and anybody can occupy where he wants to occupy. But you must follow due process by buying this land or seeking approval from the community head. No Southerners will come to the north and live in the bush and just go to the bush and claim lands and stay there. So I'm using this medium to advise every Aboki that is living in our bushes to desist from occupying our land. And I'm in strong support of the local government who gave, local government chairman who gave the South, the Abokis in our land the 7-day ultimatum to vacate that place immediately. I am totally in support. And I also enjoin other local government chairman to emulate the local government chairman of Oshimiri local government to do the same, because enough is enough. We cannot sit in a lockdown where federal government advise people to stay at home while the North uses this opportunity to infiltrate our land by repositioning those we believe now are militants that wants to use a certain ultimatum or a certain time to start the experience of Rwanda. We are smarter and we know exactly what you are doing. And I believe me that a time will come where we will employ, we as buffaloes, we understand our strength and we will use the stampede mentality. The action of the Oshimiri local government chairman is one buffalo attacking. That is not a stampede. Please understand what I mean by stampede. The stampede mentality should be employed now in the South. Now, to wrap up this video, like I said and I've pleaded, the insult and abuses should stop. Now, my strategy so far has been to educate you so that you think for yourself. No single individual should come to you and tell you that he has all the solutions to you. If there's any person, that is a lie. That is deception. Government, they say, is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. In this definition, all you hear is people, people, people. At no time did you hear government of Magnus, by Magnus, for the people. The definition is not like that. So my strategy is to make you realize, is to make the people realize their strength. Because if the people realize their strength, impediment, employ and enjoy every other activist to employ the same strategy that the stampede mentality. Imagine if the Oshimiri local government said he gave ultimatum, the Ugele South, and everybody gives the same ultimatum. You see, that is stampede mentality, and such a strategy will work. So I do not make this struggle about myself, because the people, ultimately at the end are the leaders. Ultimately, the people at the end are supreme. I am just a servant to you, trying to show you the way. At the end of the day, I cannot carry you along. When Moses asked the Red Sea to split in two, Moses didn't go ahead carrying people on his head to cross the river. I can just show you the way. It is now left for you, the people, to cross the river. Because at the end of the day, it is not about me. So for you who adore people, it is okay to adore me. It is okay to like me. But please do not make me bigger than you, because you are bigger than me. You are the ultimate case here. You are the ultimate subject. So what I'm trying to do is to make you realize your strength so that you can apply and have the knowledge that the buffalo doesn't know, so that you can begin to understand the stampede mentality. And you cannot evolve the stampede mentality when you keep abusing your neighbor, when you keep insulting your neighbor, when you keep thinking that your ethnicity is superior to other people, when you keep thinking that one person has a solution. One person cannot make a stampede. It has to be about people. So let love begin to reign. Let love begin to shine. Let's begin to find a way to embrace. And we, I really do not want to make this video personal, but let love begin to reign. If you think that your ethnicity is more in population, that is more reason why the other people who you are inviting to join you should be scared. So let a process of, they say he who comes with equity comes with open arms. So you must indeed come with open arms. Finally, I was invited to start a group called the Niger Delta Indigenous People. I have jettisoned the group, not because I hate the people of Niger Delta, but in that group I now realize that it is the same thing that I've been preaching against that is building that group. Let me tell the people who invited me to form that group, I do not hate the Igbos. If you rush to me that we should form a group because you thought I have a hatred for Igbos, I don't. I never will. Never, never, never will develop a hatred for Igbos. And let me tell you, any organization that is brought about by hateful people will definitely not go anywhere. Hate is not a virtue that any human being should imbibe in his spirit. We must have a capacity in our heart to forgive. I certainly don't like the way certain Igbos are doing their things. I certainly don't like the way certain organizations are doing their things. Because if at the end of the day, your teachings lead people into insulting and abusing people, definitely such a system is wrong. I'm only angry about the way certain things are happening. I'm angry about the way certain Igbos are going about insulting people, just as I know that we Urobos have our own ineptitude that needs correction. The same thing the Yorubas, the Jaws, we all have our bad side. So we should not come together and say one tribe is entirely bad. No, sir. I have met some fantastic Igbo people, very, very, very fantastic Igbo people that I cannot, in all honesty, claim that Igbos are bad. No, sir. Igbos are not bad. But there are just some who are extremely irritating. And maybe because they are arrogant or pompous, but I'm sorry to say, we work to that and see that we get a level playing ground. But the bottom line is that we have people invading our land, and we must start a process to begin to develop the stampede mentality. Thank you very much.